A political action committee is prepared to take legal action against Smith County to force an audit of road bond financials. Good evening and thank you for joining us. This comes after the Commissioner's Court rejected an independent audit last week. Tonight, a closer look at what could happen next.
I'm willing to play hardball with them. I am.
Joanne Fleming leads Grassroots America We the People, a conservative PAC that's been demanding an audit of road bond financials for more than a year. While they've never alleged fraud or criminal wrongdoing, the group has spent hundreds of hours reviewing the numbers, which they say don't add up, claiming at one point to have found a $7 million discrepancy, cost overrun, and missing purchase orders.
Commissioner's Court still has no idea about how to answer any of the questions we've raised. And you know why? Because they haven't looked.
Last week, a motion to conduct an audit failed to get a second, with only one commissioner supporting it.
Do we have a second?
Are you serious?
County Judge Neil Franklin suggested an engineering study instead.
And I had a lot of constituents saying, hey, an engineering study sounds like a better idea than this one bid on an audit from an outside company.
And while Fleming supports that idea, she says the county could do both a study and an audit. Her group is now preparing to take legal action.
The last thing we ever want to do is to file a civil lawsuit where that's going to, because the taxpayers will pay for that.
So instead, the group is first preparing to file a court order, a writ of mandamus, forcing county officials to carry out what they believe is a legal obligation.
We're not going to give up. We're going to get a reckoning for this one way or another.
Now, per policy, the county does not comment on pending litigation. Looking ahead, the Commissioner's Court will hear an update at next week's meetings on bond projects from the Road and Bridge Department.